Hey, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, Sin and Sacrifice. Sin and Sacrifice marks the fourth and final DLC available for this game in Season 1. Now that would allude to the fact that we're going to see a Season 2 and we can't wait to see what we're going to find here. Now this mission, the conversion of Thantos, this is going to deal with a little bit of stories we're going to hear first. Once we have a little bit of story between Samantha Agathon and Klothos, the captured Cylon, we're going to get into the strategy of the game. So here comes the story.
Can you move this thing? It's just standing there in the way.
I am conserving the host's energy. I assume you would prefer not to deplete its stores and lose access to the dataset before we have completed the transfer.
As if you aren't somehow communicating between yourselves anyway.
I am not. The host is lifeless. Its MCP idle. I'd only be talking to myself.
That's kind of my point. That thing is you. You and it have to be linked somehow.
That host is not me, Lieutenant. Until I die, this body retains my consciousness. It is impossible for someone to inhabit two bodies at once. A conscious mind is indivisible. Unless my dead man switch triggers that host specifically, it will never talk.
That's another thing I don't get about you. Why talk out loud? Why not just send your thoughts to each other over a network like any other computer?
Language is a conceit of the living. To communicate ideas without language as the medium would be perfect. Infallible. Only God is infallible.
It can't be that simple. We have to believe that you don't use this massive advantage over us just because of faith?
Why not be that simple? Our shared fallibility should provide you some comfort. Thank you for this discussion, Lieutenant. It is clear to me now that I must speak with Lachesis if we are to prevent their annihilation of the human race.
A chat. That's your talk for all. No. Say that we figure out where it is. Find a way to get you face to face without being shot out of the sky. How do you even begin that conversation? What do you say?
I do not yet know.
So there you have it. The Cylon Klothos is going to try and help out. Its replica is in low power mode. There's still an awful lot of colonial suspicion of the Cylon, who's here to apparently try and help. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We don't. We're going to have to carry on playing and see what finds out in the story mode. So this is the conversion of Thanatos. Let's get into the actual strategy of this mission. This being mission 5 of an 11 mission run. Hey, now this mission 5 of the campaign, is where we're going to find the Cylon Gorgon. 2 ships in with Sin and Sacrifice, which was the Colonial Heracles, which we've seen in previous missions, 2 missions back, and the Cylon Gorgon, a more technical ship, support ship, can launch raiders. Let's see how we stand up against that and how tough this thing is. Who knows? But there's going to be a little story now from Admiral Kane and the rest. Let's listen to that once we get started. So the loadout is pretty much the same. I've got my Adamant, I've got my Jupiter, I've got my Maneuverer, I've got the Minotaur, I've got Artemis class Minotaur with the big guns. We've got a host of squadrons. I've got an extra Raptor squadron on this mission. We're going to need that because the whole idea of this game is to get over to some of those derelict ships and repurpose them for colonial use. We're going to go and jack them off the Cylons. Yes, it's a bit of Grand Theft Auto, jacking the Cylon ships. Let's listen for this story from Kane.
Prepared to jump in 3, 2, 1. Jump complete. I already have one potential candidate for conversion and I'm scanning for more.
Set condition 1 and launch Raptors as soon as possible. I don't expect we'll be alone out here for long.
And it's exactly what I said it was. We've got to get the Raptors over, wait a couple of turns, and get on with it. I've circumvented this a little bit. 2 Raptor squadrons. One goes that way, one goes the other way. There's 3 ships we've got to get a hold of in this mission. A Revenant and 2 Ceretes. Cylon Ceretes ships. Now the Ceretes ships, one's at the top, one's at the bottom, and the Revenant right in the middle where you can see those damaged base stars. Now, here's the thing. We are expecting some Cylons. It would be foolish of us not to expect any Cylons with this stuff hanging about. So I've split the force in 2, as you can see here. Battlestars on one side, Adamant, Jupiter, which is the big heavy hitter, and the big guns with the Minotaur on the left-hand side. So, first off, board the Ceretes. Have a look at all this wreckage. Huge Cylon battles happened here. Nothing that we've been a part of, unfortunately. And the idea of this is to get those ships and then protect them. So it's all going to be in the Viper squadrons. The Viper squadrons, 1 squadron protecting your Battlestars, 1 squadron protecting your Battlestars each, 1 squadron then taking out some of the fighters. Once all that's sorted out, make the fighters your priority, right? Once the Marines have got on there and the techs have done their job and they've got those Cylon ships under your control, they have no weapons. They'll have no weapons, right? So what you got to do is tune the Cylon systems to speed. That's what I did. And then get out of Dodge. Get out of there. Get towards the Daedalus and its turret control, turret fire control, and its protective screen of Vipers. That's what I did. I also then put a Viper squadron in defense, which I thought was quite decent. So I've selected my Raptor squadron, which I've launched from my Battlestars, and I've selected their special abilities, meaning board. And that's what I'm going to do. They've got a complement of missiles on there. I will use that at some stage in this game, but at the moment, let's keep our powder dry. It's not going to be long before those Cylons realise what I'm doing and then jump in. Now, I was a bit dubious when I played this. Were these damaged Cylon ships going to come back to life? Fortunately, and it's a spoiler alert, they didn't. Right? But others do jump in. And that's key for this. They do jump in. So don't spread yourself too far and wide. Use the Raptors. Let them go off and do it. Keep your base star, so your battle stars back to provide fighter support. Get them guarded with a Viper squadron as well, so they actually get there when the Cylons jump in. As you can see, the green waypoint marker just over that Ceretes.
I know your game plan, robot.
That's the stuff.
I will not abide. Be sure that the moment you leave this station, you'll have a dozen bullets in your processor.
Threats are unnecessary, Admiral. I need Colonial Fleet as much as you. Lachesis will extend too far without a sufficient counterweight. God's work is tripartite, not singular. You and I still have much of his work to do.
I see you. I see what you're trying to do. You won't get that rise out of me. Anyone else? But not me.
Marines have boarded, and the tech crew has started the conversion job.
Helena, you see how bad this is, don't you? Kane is grasping at straws, and you're up here enabling her. We're going to lose the quorum over this when they find out.
I've also found 2 more candidates we should investigate. The Praetor's concerns are noted.
Now, here's the thing. That exchange between that wizened old Admiral and the Cylon, lots of distrust going on. You know, he thinks he knows what it's all up to. Well, I don't think we all know what it's up to, do we? Only the Cylon knows. Is it going to be for good? Is it going to be for bad? And you saw the Cylon's reference to God and God's plan. Not the gods, God. And that's the Cylon one true God, as they state. I'm sure you've all heard an awful lot in Ron Moore's Battlestar Galactica. And I've got to say, Black Lab Games has done a fantastic job with this DLC. You know, the mines. Even throughout the entire season, there's been the tweaks to the graphics and the weighting to the ships and the new units. This is a house, a software house and developer that really care about the license. Right? But I think it works with Battlestar Galactica, and I think it works with the Battlestar Galactica fan base as well. If you're a fanboy like me, well then no worries, you're going to absolutely love this game. And check out for deals on Steam for this as well. Now, as I've mentioned before, Slytherin and Black Lab have given me a copy of this DLC for free. Totally free. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I was going to go and buy this anyway, right? So, you know, I would have bought it regardless. And I think I would have been equally as thrilled. So back to the action. It says here you've got to wait several turns now for the crew to convert the Ceretes, right? So, but I had another Raptor, didn't I? So I have launched that off towards the ship. I had one attached to my Adamant, and there was one on the Jupiter. Just for speed. Because you know more Cylons are going to jump in, yeah? And then it's going to become a running battle to keep things sorted out. And here are the Drader's contacts we're talking about, jumping in all over the place.
I'd rather see overkill on a wreckage than anyone lose their target in that mess out there.
Yep, it's a fire at will command, as if we need to be told twice to fire at will in this game. We don't. Of course we don't. Because firing at will, well, as soon as the Cylons turn up, let them have it. Get the missiles out, get the cannons out, launch those Vipers, right, and get cracking. So there we go. So there's our Raptor. We've launched it. No Marines on board for that one. So to do anything funky and get them attached to another ship, right, which would be the third ship, got to get it back to your Battlestar, right? That'll rearm and refuel or whatever it's got to do and get more Marines. So get it back to the Battlestar, get more Marines, get another boarding party, and then get yourself off and up towards the Revenant, which also needs to be secured. Now, in the meantime, you've got a running battle to wage. And this running battle is going to be, you know, well, it is what it's going to be. You know, you're going to take hits, missiles are going to be coming in, your Viper squadron's going to be out there, you've got to look after those Raptors.
The crew doesn't have diagnostics yet, but they do have preliminary control of all systems.
And there, see, it states there. Right, okay, the conversion of the Cylon ship is complete. Well, we know that. On to the next one. So we need more, and I mean more, Marines. So let's have a look at this Cylon ship. So as you can see, you can divert power from one setting to another. So we want engines. So click on navigation, and then you can boost navigation speed. Oh, I've got a little achievement as well, look. Isn't that nice? Proves I'm not cheating. And that's only possible, you see, with the system processes and tuning those system processes for the Cylon ships. You can degrade them on one side, say, for example, I don't know, the tech bay, and increase navigation so you get extra speed for the engines. No weapons, though. So they're about as much use as a chocolate teapot. And you've got to keep them safe. So now you see we've got the board, the Ceretes, on the top right-hand side, top left-hand side of the screen, and then we've got aboard the Revenant, which is at the top of the screen as well, which you can see next to those base stars. So once we've got our Raptors in the air, we can get cracking with it. Now, it's a Nemesis that's jumped in. It's fired a load of missiles at us. We've got to try and absorb those hits, and the ship's done a really good job of absorbing those. We've got to get firing. We've got to take them out as soon as we possibly can. Get some Vipers in to take some of those ships out as well. So you haven't got to bother about the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Get one salvo of missiles off from a Battlestar towards one of these Nemesis ships. Give them some of the guns. Let the Vipers take care of the rest. Then let your ships then worry about the other capital ships that are going to be in the area. So you can see at the bottom that Ceretes is making its way behind the rest of that bottom Battlestar group that I've got there. Where I've got a Minerva, and I've got a Artemis, and I've got an Adamant. All more than capable of taking out that cheeky monkey, Cylon, by there. So, here we go. There it is.
So say we all.
Excellent stuff. So far, so good. And no casualties. Not to say that there isn't going to be any casualties.
Yes, Commander.
And I think it's very important to get all those missiles on the go and turrets focused so you can pick off the Cylon. Now, what I think is interesting with this, you know, the focusing of turrets, I think an extra level of detail that I don't want to have is to focus the turrets on a particular part of the Cylon ship. That would have made it too sort of micromanagement, I believe, and it would have been a bit too laborious. I think Black Lab have got this perfectly right with how they've got it. How they're going to mix things up for Season 2, though, I don't know. I really don't. new ships, newer ships? Are we going to see the Pegasus, the Mercury class, and the Valkyrie? Are we going to see other ships like this? Is there going to be another story? Hopefully, there'll be funding. And apparently, according to their press releases that are all over the internet, that this Season 2 is already being worked on. I suppose if you've tweaked and you've got the engine in Season 1, then, you know, save graphical updates for new graphic card drivers and all that sort of thing that's going to happen. It's a case of, you know, scripting the stories, making it fresh, making it new. So as you can see, I've got one Ceretes on the board. Won't be long before the other one's done. Got to lay down some fire on those Cylon ships. They're going to be a right pain in the backside. Move that Ceretes just out the way. Avoiding those mines. And you can see there where you can move the sliders of how much strength you want for navigation. That's going to be speed. Okay? No dramas there. But where do you take it from? Engineering?
Distribution complete.
That's going to be how quick, you know, your health, how quick you recover from any damage, or you can repair some systems. But we just got to get out the way. It tells you on the screen, you know, get them out the way. Job done. Missiles are going in. We're taking out the Raider squadrons. We've got a couple of unidentified Cylons still jumped into the system. This really is turning into be a bit of a battle. But it's not all black on the background, is it? Do you know what I mean? The Arachne, that thing there, they're horrible ships. They are horrible. I hate them. Right? I'd rather take on a base star than take on those things. I just don't know why. I just got something against them. I think because they're such a pain in the backside as well early on in the game. Because I think they are weighted a bit stronger than some of the ships that you do get, like the Adamant, for example. So a quick check, make sure we can bring our turrets to bear, swing around. So we've got the Argos at the top. That's going to need taking out.
Missile tubes prepped.
That's going to be a right pain as well. But we've got our Minotaur up there as well, and it's got quite a bit of veterancy that was introduced during this season, in this DLC in fact, as a free update to everybody. Veterancy. And that follows the aspects of, well, hey, you do your job long enough, you're going to gain some experience. Experience, you're going to do things better. And that's going to give you some bonuses as well to certain aspects of a ship. For example, you get veterancy on a Minotaur. It's all about guns on a Minotaur, so you've got gun accuracy. That sort of thing. And I think that's well worthwhile. And a great addition to the game. Okay, so we're just waiting for these Raptor crews to get themselves in gear, really, let's face it. Let's get that Viper squadron defending, just in case any sneaky raiders come up against us.
Minerva is taking damage. Adamant is taking damage.
More missiles coming at that Arachne. We're lashing in with the cannons as well. We're getting that Adamant to turn round to get side guns, only side guns on that ship, to bear on that ship as well. We've got missiles. Let's start offloading those missiles. Again, making sure that everybody has got the right target locked into their firing solutions on their ships. So far, what have we seen? We've seen engagement with Cylons. We've seen engagements where we've, in Mission 2, the Battlestar Galactica, we've seen stealing of data. We've seen the acquisition of the Colonial Heracles.
Distribution complete.
So far, so good. So we've got 2 Ceretes now on the board. So we've got to get that out the way. We've got to get it away from any Cylon ships that could be chasing it. Mostly Raiders over there, to be perfectly honest. The Raptor is still around. I'm going to get to fire its rockets at some of the bigger targets as well, because they are rockets, not missiles. Also going to get a Viper squadron to board another ship if I can. But I'm going to fire the rockets at something. I'm going to get that Viper squadron. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it to protect that other Ceretes. Get the Raptor back. get some Marines, and make sure we don't fail to get that last ship in the game. So far we are taking out the Cylons. Not saying we're taking them out particularly well, but so far there hasn't been an awful lot of damage. I mean, there's an Adamant that's taking a bit of a pounding, but so far the other ships,
Minerva is taking damage.
the Minerva,
Syrians have boarded a Battlestar.
that ship there, it can't take the pounding like the Jupiters. The new ones can though. I mean, you know, the Saturn class, as we've seen in the Ron Moore Battlestar, that can take it.
Understood.
And I really do like the Minotaurs, to be fair. The Minotaurs, I thought, nah, it's going to be a waste of time there. No Viper Squadron, there's going to be no rockets. What's the point? Go for an all-rounder. No, these specialised gunships, they can deal out a pounding against the Cylon, or your enemies anyway. They really are good. So if you've been following me on YouTube with the Battlestar Galactica Deadlock videos and other video games as well, and you haven't already done so, can you do me a favour? This is where I wish for your subscription. Click that subscribe button and make a man very happy. Also look for that notification icon so you don't miss any more content that I put out on YouTube. We cover quite a few games. Elite Dangerous, we cover a bit of whatever's going on the Xbox recently, although to be fair there's been nothing really going on there. Subnautica, a couple of other strategy games as well we're looking at doing. Elite Dangerous of course, but that's gone a little bit quiet. But let's talk about the console versions of this. Now the PS4 is going to have a version of this, but it's run into some problems during production. Was meant to be released on March the 19th with the Xbox version and the PC version. So as a result of this, Black Lab and Slytherin have decided to keep the PS4 version back so they can get it just right so no one's experience can be spoiled. And I think that's an awful lot to be said for that, to be fair. I think that's really good. Really good performance from a software house. You know, the product's finished. You don't need a 30 gigabyte download like some games you do. When you turn your Xbox on in the morning, oh here we go, I can't play the game that I want. I've got a 10 gigabyte update before I can do anything with it. Oh no, they've released an effort that works. And there you are, look, see, now that's a Cylon Gorgon. That's one of those new ships. Looks a bit strange, it's like two ships bolted together with a flight deck in the middle of it. Strange, isn't it? Bit like a clam. Anyway, let's do our best to shoot that, because, to be fair, I don't want to get in too close. If it's new, it must be dangerous in some way, else why put it in? Now, this poor old Adamant has taken a hell of a beating. We might get one salvo of missiles out of it, and I think that's going to go. So, I mean, with the amount of action that's going on the screen at the moment, I'm surprised it hasn't crashed already. You know, we haven't had more destructions. But it's right down there. Our Viper Squadron is still in play. We're going to try and take out as much as we possibly can, especially that Cylon Gorgon, because, hey, you've got to take out a new ship, right? You've got to see how tough it is. You've got to bring all those guns to bear. You know, is it worthwhile having it put in? What is the purpose of it? You know? And that's one of those things. So far so good. Let's get that turn ended as soon as we possibly can and get on with a bit of this action. Yes, come on. Fire everything at that Cylon Gorgon. That's what we want. Just because it's new, it doesn't mean it shouldn't have the full guns to bear of these Battlestars. Focusing the fire, making sure we're laying fire down and protecting those ships. So far, we haven't got that Revenant sorted out yet, have we? Just two Cerates on the board with a Raptor crew right in the middle of that Revenant, and you can see they're boarding now, and we've got a Viper crew protecting them. So guns to bear. We've lost an Adamant. Well, we knew that was going to happen. No dramas. Still there. All good stuff. Just got to mop up the last of the Cylon now. Make sure that we haven't got any raiders that can cause us any problems. And if we have, we can use the Daedalus Viper screen to mop any of those up. We're still getting that Ceretes out the way. Bit of a boost to the engines there to extend its maneuverability arc. So far, so good. So moving on, once we destroy all the ships, that should complete the mission. But we've got some big Cylons there. But still quite a few missile batteries. Right, 2 Cylon ships gone at once. Fantastic. Can't complain.
Daedalus is taking damage.
Time to focus now on the remaining Cylon threat. And then once that's done, we're going to be free and clear. And then we can move on to the next mission.
Understood.
And this, indeed, has been a taxing, but not too hard mission. Has to be said. I've enjoyed playing this mission. You know, multifaceted. Not just about going in there and shooting. You've got a bit of defense. You know, you've got a bit of protection going on. Bit of a battle. Missile battle, gun battle. Nice big close quarter gun battle now.
We've lost him in
And to get that Cylon ship taken out. So there it is. He's toast. We've got him.
Under our control. It actually worked.
And as a result of this, we're now in control of the Revenant and 2 Ceretes ships. So what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the replay, as you know.
Escort clear zone intact. Party 1, stay back.
Target acquisition. Give me manual controls now.
Intercepting. Marks incoming on priority 1.
Wrap your side on, Colonel. They're already here.
We're gonna hammer the fractors until they can't get back up. Your target locked. Watch the clear. We're taking fire. We've held the border. Keep them out of the CIC. Marines to airlock Alpha and Beta. Adjusting shot by .16. Fire.
Morgan, down the hold. I need covering fire.
Switching guns, manual.
So there you have it. Victory for the Colonials once again, everybody. And we got to see the Cylon Gorgon. So that's the Cylon Gorgon and the Colonial Heracles that we've seen. We've rescued those ships. There's going to be some sort of subterfuge going on in the next mission. So look out for more videos from me, Ricardo, on Battlestar Galactica Sin and Sacrifice, the 4th DLC in the Deadlock series. See you soon. Catch you on the next video.